Hi, I'm Paul Sugarman with the Instant Shakespeare Company, and today we're presenting the Shaw Project, doing a reading of The Glimpse of Reality and Box and Cox. So over to David Cedar, the leader of the Shaw Project.
Okay, today is a rather odd mixture of plays, but going to do a very one of Shaw's rarely seen or heard plays, The Glimpse of Reality. And then we're going to follow that up with a total contrast by doing the popular farce of Box and Cox by John Madison Morton, one of the most popular Victorian era farces, which later became even more popular through Sullivan's setting of the music, which is known as Cox and Box instead of Box and Cox. So we're going to start here with Glimpse of Reality. I will let everybody introduce themselves. I'm reading the role of Squarcio, the innkeeper.
Hi, in Pology, I'm going to be, well, shall I let on?
No, say the first character.
I'm the friar, the kind old friar.
Drew.
I'm Drew Bolander, and I'll be reading Sandro.
And Amelia.
Hi, I'm Amelia, and I'll be reading Julia.
Okay, I will be doing some narration here and there. Let me get the setting started, and we'll go. In the 15th century AD, the time is gloaming, and on the edge of an Italian lake, a stone cross with a pedestal of steps, a very old friar sitting on the steps. The Angelus rings. The friar prays and crosses himself. A girl ferries a boat to the shore and comes up the bank to the cross.
Father, were you sent here by a boy from...
I am a very old man, very, very old enough to be your grandfather, my daughter, very, very old.
But were you sent here by a boy from...
Oh, yes. Quite a boy he was, very young. I'm very old. Yes, very, very old, dear daughter. Yeah.
Are you a holy man?
Oh, yeah, very holy, very, 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 very holy. Yeah.
But have you your wits still about you, Father?
Yes,
Can you
yes.
absolve me from a great sin?
Oh, yes, a very, very great sin. I'm very old, but I've my wits about me. Yes, yeah. I'm 113 years old, by the grace of Our Lady, and I still remember all my Latin, and I can still bind and loose, and I'm very, very wise, for I'm old and have left far behind me the world, flesh, the devil. You see, I am blind, daughter, but when a boy told me that there was a duty for me to do here, I came without a guide, straight to this spot, led by St. Barbara. She led me to this stone, daughter. It's a comfortable stone to me. She has blessed it for me.
It's a cross, Father.
Oh, blessed, ever blessed be my holy patroness for leading me here to this sacred spot. Is there any building near this, daughter? The boy mentioned an inn.
There is an inn, Father, not 20 yards away. It's kept by my father, Squarcio.
And is there a barn where a very, very old man may sleep and have a handful of peas for his supper?
There is bed and board, both for holy men who will take the guilt of our sins from us. Swear to me on the cross that you are a very holy man.
Oh, I shall do better than that, daughter. I'll prove my holiness by a miracle.
A miracle?
A most miraculous miracle, a wonderful miracle. When I was 18 years of age, I was already famous for my devoutness. When the hand of the blessed Saint Barbara which was chopped off in the days when the church was persecuted, was found at Viterbo. I was selected by the Pope himself to carry it to Rome for that Blessed Lady's festival there. And since that, my hand has never grown old. It remains young and warm and plump, whilst the rest of my body is withered almost to dust and my voice is cracked and become the whistling you now hear.
Is that true? Let me see. Oh, it's true. You are a saint. Heaven has sent you an answer to my prayer.
As soft as your neck, is it not?
It thrills me. It is wonderful.
Well, it thrills me also, daughter. That too is a miracle at my age.
Father.
Come closer, daughter. I'm very old, very, very deaf. You must speak quite close to my ear if you speak low. Oh, good, good, that's better. Yes, yeah, I'm a very, very old, yeah.
Father, I am about to commit a deadly sin.
Oh, do, my daughter, do.
No, you do not hear what I say.
Not here? Well, then come closer, my daughter. Oh, much closer. Put your arm round my shoulders and speak in my ear. Don't be ashamed, my daughter. I'm only a sack of old bones. You can hear them rattle. Just listen to an old man's bones. Listen to the old man's bones rattling and take the old man to heaven, blessed Barbara.
Oh, your wits are wandering. Listen to me. Are you listening?
Yes, I am listening. Remember, whether I hear or not, I can absolve. All the better for you, perhaps, if I do not hear the worst. Well. When my wits wander, squeeze my young hand, and the blessed Barbara will restore my faculties. That's right. That's right. Now I remember what I am and who you are. Proceed, my child.
Father, I am to be married this year to a young fisherman.
The devil you are, my dear.
Oh, listen. You are wandering again.
That's right. Hold my hand tightly. I understand. This young fisherman is neither very beautiful nor very brave, but he is honest and devoted to you, and there is something about him different to all other young men.
You know him, then?
No. I'm too old to remember people, but St. Barbara tells me everything.
Then you know why we can't marry yet.
He is too poor. His mother will not let him unless his bride has a dowry.
Yes. Oh, blessed be St. Barbara for sending you to me. 30 crowns from a girl like me. It is wicked, monstrous. I must sin to earn it.
That will not be your sin, but his mother's.
That is true. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But will she suffer for it?
Thousands of years in purgatory for it, my daughter. The worse the sin, the longer she will suffer. So let her have it as hot as possible. Now, don't let go of my hand. I'm wandering. That's right, my darling. Yes, sin is a very wicked thing, my daughter. Even a mother-in-law's sin is very expensive, for your husband would stint you to pay for masses for her soul.
That is true. You are very wise, Father.
Let it be a venial sin, an amiable sin. What sin were you thinking of, for instance?
There is a young Count Ferruccio, son of the tyrant of Parma.
An excellent young man, daughter. You could not sin with a more excellent young man. But 30 crowns is far too much to ask from him. He can't afford it. He is a beggar, an outcast. He made love to Madonna Brigitta, the sister of Cardinal Poldi, a cardinal 18 years of age, a nephew of the Holy Father. The cardinal surprised Ferruccio with his sister, and Ferruccio's temper got the better of him. He threw that holy young cardinal out of the window and broke his arm.
You know everything.
St. Barbara, my daughter, St. Barbara. I know nothing. But where have you seen Ferruccio? St. Barbara says that he never saw you in his life. and has not 30 crowns in the world.
Oh, why does not Saint Barbara tell you that I am an honest girl who would not sell herself for 1,000 crowns?
Oh, do not give way to pride, daughter. Pride is one of the 7 deadly sins.
I know that, Father, and believe me, I'm humble and good. I swear to you by Our Lady that it is not Ferruccio's love that I must take, but his life. Do not be angry, dear Father. Do not cast me off. What is a poor girl to do? We are very poor, my father and I am not to kill him. I am only to decoy him here, for he is a devil for women, and once he is in the inn, my father will do the rest.
Will he, by thunder and lightning, and the flood and all the saints? Will he?
He flings off his gown and beard, revealing himself as a handsome youth, a nobleman by his dress, as he springs up and rushes to the door of the inn, which he batters with a stone.
Oh there, squash you, rascal, assassin, son of a pig, come out that I may break every bone in your carcass.
You are a young man.
Another miracle of Saint Barbara. Come out, well, come out. Rat, come out and be killed. Come out and be beaten to a jelly. Come out, dog, swine, animal, mangy owl, lousy. Do you know who I am, dog?
No, Your Excellency.
I am Ferruccio, Count Ferruccio, the man you are about to kill. The man your devil of a daughter is to decoy. The man who is going to now cut you into 40,000 pieces and throw you into the lake.
Keep your temper, Signor Count.
I'll not keep my temper. I have an uncontrollable temper. I get blinding, splitting headaches if I do not relieve my temper by acts of violence. I relieve it now by pounding you into jelly, assassin that you are.
As you please, Signor Count. I may as well earn my money now as another time.
Ass! Do you suppose I have trusted myself in this territory without precautions? My father has made a wager with your feudal lord here about me.
What wager, may it please Your Excellency?
Wager, blockhead! Why, that if I am assassinated, the murderer will not be brought to justice.
So that if I kill you,
your baron will lose 10 crowns unless you are broken on the wheel for it.
only 10 crowns, Excellency. Your father does not value your life very highly.
But can you not reason? If this sum were larger, your baron would win it by killing me himself and breaking someone else on the wheel for it. You, most likely. 10 crowns is just enough to make him break you on the wheel if you kill me, but not enough to pay for all the masses he would have to be said for him if the guilt were his.
No, that is very clever, Excellency. You shall not be slain. I will take care of that. If anything happens, it will be an accident.
Body of Bacchus! I forgot that trick. I should have killed you when my blood was hot.
Will Your Excellency please to step in? My best room and my best cooking are at Your Excellency's disposal.
Ah, the devil with your mangy kennel. You want to tell every traveler that Count Ferruccio slept in your best bed and was eaten by your army of fleas? Take yourself out of my sight when you have told me where the next inn is.
I'm sorry to thwart Your Excellency, but I have not forgotten your father's wager. And until you leave this territory, I shall stick to you like your shadow.
Why, pray?
Someone else might kill you, Your Excellency. And as you say, my illustrious baron might break me on the wheel for your father's 10 crowns. I must protect Your Excellency, whether Your Excellency is willing or not.
If you dare to annoy me, I'll handle your bones so that there will be nothing left for the hangman to break. Now what do you say?
I say that Your Excellency overrates Your Excellency's strength. You would have no more chance against me than a grasshopper. Oh, I know that Your Excellency has been taught by fencers and wrestlers and the like, but I can take you all you can give without turning a hair and settle the account when you are out of breath. That is why common men are dangerous, Your Excellency. They are inured to toil and endurance. Besides, I know all the tricks.
Do not attempt to quarrel with my father, Count. It must be as he says. It is his profession to kill. What could you do against him? If you want to beat somebody, you must beat me.
I advise you not to try that, Excellency. She also is very strong.
And I shall have a headache. That's all.
A good supper, Excellency, will prevent that, and Julia will sing for you.
Not while there's a broomstick in the house to break her ugly head with. Do you suppose I'm going to listen to the howlings of a she-wolf who wanted me to absolve her for getting me killed?
The poor must live as well as the rich, sir. Julia is a good girl.
May the rich die! Must the rich die that the poor may live?
The poor often die that the rich may live.
What an honor for them. But it would have been no honor for me to die merely that you might marry your cloud of a fisherman.
You are spiteful, Signor.
I am no troubadour, Giulietta, if that's what you mean.
How did you know about my Sandro and his mother? How were you so wise when you pretended to be an old friar? You that are so childish now that you are yourself.
I take it that either Saint Barbara inspired me or else you are a great fool.
Saint Barbara will surely punish you for that wicked lie you told about her hand.
The hand that thrilled you.
That was blasphemy. You should not have done it. You made me feel as if I had a taste of heaven, and then you poisoned it in my heart as a taste of hell. That was wicked and cruel. You nobles are cruel.
How? Do you expect us to nurse your babies for you? Our work is to rule and to fight. Ruling is nothing but inflicting cruelties on wrongdoers. Fighting is nothing but being cruel to one's enemies. You, poor people, leave us all of the cruel work and then wonder that we are cruel if we left it undone. Outside the life I lead all to myself, the life of thought and poetry, I know only two pleasures, cruelty and lust. I desire revenge, I desire women, and both of them disappoint me when I get them.
It would have been a good deed to kill you, I think.
Killing is always sport, my Giulietta.
Giulietta! Giulietta!
Stop that noise! Your Giulietta is here with a young nobleman. Come up and amuse him. What will you give me if I tempt him to defy his mother and marry you without a dowry?
You are tempting me. A poor girl can give no more than she has. I should think you were a devil if you were not a noble, which is worse.
The devil does evil for pure love of it. He does not ask a price, he offers it. Prepare supper for 4, bandit.
Is your appetite so great in this heat, Signor?
There will be 4 to supper. You, I, your daughter, and Sandro. Do not stint yourselves. I pay for all. Go and prepare more food.
Your order is already obeyed, Excellency.
How?
I prepared for 4, having you here to pay. The only difference your graciousness makes is that we shall have the honor of to eat with you instead of after you.
Dog of a bandit. You should have been a nobleman.
I was born a noble, Signor, but as we had no money to maintain our pretensions, I dropped them.
This is the lad, Excellency. Sandro, this is his lordship, Count Ferruccio.
At your lordship's service.
Sit down, Sandro. You, Julia, and Squarcio are my guests.
I've told Sandro everything, Excellency.
And what does Sandro say?
He says that if you have 10 crowns in your purse and we kill you, we can give them to the Baron. It would be the same to him as if he got it from your illustrious father.
Stupid. The Count is cleverer than you think. No matter how much money you give the Baron, he can always get 10 crowns more by breaking me on the wheel if the Count is killed.
That is true. Sandro did not think of that.
What a head I have. I am not clever, Excellency. At the same time, you must know that I did not mean my Giulietta to tell you. I know my duty to your Excellency better than that.
Come, you are dear people, charming people. Let us go to work at the supper. You shall be the mother of the family and give us our portions, Giulietta. That's right. Now serve me last, Giulietta. Sandro is hungry.
Come. Do you not see that His Excellency will lunch touch nothing until we have had some from first. See, Excellency, I have tasted everything. To tell you the truth, poisoning is an art I do not understand.
Very few professional poisoners do, Squarcio. One of the best professionals in Rome, poisoned my uncle and aunt. They are alive still. The poison cured my uncle's gout and only made my aunt thin, which was exactly what she desired, poor lady, and she was losing her figure terribly.
There is nothing like the sword, Excellency.
Except the water, Father Squarcio. Trust a fisherman to know that. Nobody can tell that drowning is not an accident.
What does Giulietta say?
I should not kill a man if I hated him. You cannot torment a man when he is dead. Men kill because they think it is what they call a satisfaction, but that is only fancy.
And what if you loved him? Would you kill him then?
Perhaps. If you love a man, you are his slave. Everything he says, everything he does is a stab to your heart. Every day is a long dread of losing him. Better kill him if there be no other escape.
How well you have brought up your family, Squarcio. Some more omelette, Sandro.
Oh, I thank your excellency.
I pledge to you all, to the sword and the fisherman's net, to love and hate.
To the sword.
To the net, excellency, with thanks for your honor.
To love, senor.
To hate, the noblest portion.
The meal has done you good, Excellency. How do you feel now?
I feel that there is nothing but a bait of 10 crowns between me and death, Squarcio.
It's enough, Excellency, and enough is always enough.
Do not think that, excellency. It is only that we are poor folk and have to consider how to make both ends meet, as one may say. Excellency, you...
Oh, finish it, Sandro. I'm done.
Father Squarcio?
Finish.
Finish it.
Giulietta?
Me? Oh, no, finish it, Sandro. It will only go to the pig.
Then, with your excellency's permission.
Sing for His Excellency, my daughter.
I shall jump into the lake, Squarcio, if your cat begins to meow.
Oh, no, excellency. Giulietta sings very sweetly, have no fear.
I do not care for singing, at least not the singing of a peasants. There is only one thing for which one woman will do as well as another, and that is love-making. Come, Father Squarcio, I will buy Giulietta from you, and you can have her back for nothing when I am tired of her. How much?
In the ready money or promises?
Old fox, ready money.
50 crowns, Excellency.
50 crowns! 50 crowns for that black-faced devil. I would not give 50 crowns for one of my mother's ladies in waiting. 50 pence, you must mean.
Doubtless, Your Excellency, being a younger son, is poor. Shall we say 25 crowns?
I tell you, she's not worth 5.
No, if you come to that, well, what is she is worth, Excellency? What are any of us worth? I take it that you are a gentleman, not a merchant.
What are you worth, Signorino?
I am accustomed to being asked for favors, Giuliaccia, not to be asked impertinent questions.
What would you do if a strong man took you by the scruff of your neck or his daughter thrust a knife in your throat, Signor?
It would be many a year, my gentle Giuliaccia, before any base-born man or woman would dare threaten a nobleman again. The whole village would be flayed alive.
Oh, no, senor. These things often have a great air of being accidents. And the great families, they are well content to have that they should appear so. It is such a great trouble to flay a whole village alive. Here, by the water, accidents are so common.
We of the nobility, Signor, are not strict enough. I learned that when I took to breeding horses. The horses you breed from thoroughbreds are not all worth the trouble. Most of them are screws. Well, the horse breeder gets rid of his screws for what they will fetch. They go to labor like any peasant's beast. But our nobility does not study its business so carefully. If you are a screw and the son of a baron, you are brought up to think yourself a little god, though you're nothing, and cannot rule yourself, much less a province. And you presume and presume and presume.
And insult and insult and insult.
Till one day you find yourself in a strange place with nothing to help you but your own hands and your own wits.
And you perish.
Accidentally.
And your soul goes crying to your father for vengeance.
If indeed, my daughter, there be any soul left when the body is slain.
Oh, God, vended. Do you dare doubt the existence of God and the soul?
I think, Excellency, that the soul is so precious a gift that God will not give it to a man for nothing. He must earn it by being something and doing something. I should not like to kill a man with a good soul. I've had a dog that had, I'm persuaded, made itself something of a soul. And if anyone had murdered that dog, I would have slain him. But show me a man with no soul, one who has never done anything or been anything, I will kill him for 10 crowns with as little remorse as I would stick a pig.
Unless he's a nobleman, of course.
In which case the price is 50 crowns.
Soul or no soul?
When it comes to a matter of 50 crowns, Excellency, business is business. The man who pays me must square the account with the devil. It is for my employer to consider whether the action be a good one or no. It is for me to earn his money honestly. When I say I should not like to kill a man with a good soul, I meant killing on my own account, not professionally.
Are you such a fool, then, as to spoil your own trade by sometimes killing people for nothing?
One kills a snake for nothing, Excellency. One kills a dog for nothing sometimes.
Only a mad dog, Excellency, of course.
Oh, a pet dog, too. One that eats and eats and eats and is useless and makes an honest man's house dirty. Come, Sandro, and help me to clean up. You, Julia, stay and entertain His Excellency.
Does your father do the housework with a great girl like you idling about? Squarcio is a fool after all.
No, Signor, he has left me here to prevent you from escaping.
There is nothing to be gained by killing me, Giuliaccia.
Perhaps, but I do not know. I saw Sandro make a sign to my father. That is why they went in. Sandro has something in his head.
Lice, no doubt.
That would only make him scratch his head, Signor, not make signs with it to my father. You did wrong to throw the cardinal out of the window.
Indeed. And pray why?
He will pay 30 crowns for your dead body. Then Sandro could marry me.
And be broken on a wheel for it.
It would look like an accident, Signor. Sandro is very clever, and he is so humble and cheerful and good-tempered that people do not suspect him as they suspect my father.
Giulietta, if I reach Sacromonte in safety, I swear to send you 30 crowns by a sure messenger within 10 days. Then you can marry your Sandro. How does that appeal to you?
Your oath is not worth 20 pence, sir.
Do you think I will die here like a rat in a trap?
Rats have to wait in traps for their death, Signor. Why not you?
I'll fight.
You are welcome, Signor. The blood flows freest when it is hot.
She-devil! Listen to me, Giulietta.
It is useless, Signor. Giulietta or Giuliaccia, it makes no difference. If they two in there kill you, it will be no more to me, except for the money, than if my father trod on a snail.
It's not possible that I, a nobleman, should die by such filthy hands.
You have lived by them, Signor. I see no sign of any work on your own hands. We can bring death as well as life, we poor people, Signor.
Mother of God, what shall I do?
Pray, Signor.
Pray! With the taste of death in my mouth, I can think of nothing.
It is only that you have forgotten your beads, Signor. You remember the old man's bones rattling? Here they are.
That reminds me. I know of a painter in the north that can paint such beautiful saints that the heart goes out of one's body to look at them. If I can get out of this alive, I'll make him paint Saint Barbara so that everyone can see that she is lovelier than Saint Cecilia, who looks like my washerwoman's mother in her chapel at the cathedral. Can you give Saint Cecilia a picture if she lets me be killed?
No, but I can give her many prayers.
Prayers cost nothing. She will prefer the picture unless she is a greater fool than I take her to be.
She will thank the painter for it, not you, Signor. And I'll tell her in my prayers to appear to the painter in a vision and order him to paint her just as he sees her, if she really wishes to be painted.
You are devilishly ready with your answers. Tell me, Giulietta, is what your father told me true? Is your blood really noble?
It is red, Signor, like the blood of Christ in the picture in church. I do not know if yours is different. I shall see when my father kills you.
Do you know what I'm thinking, Giulietta?
No, Signor.
I am thinking that if the good God above would oblige me by taking my fool of an elder brother up to heaven and his silly doll of a wife with him before she has time to give him a son, you would make a rare duchess for me. Come, will you help me to outwit your father and Sandro if I marry you afterward?
No, Signor, I'll help them to kill you.
My back is to the wall, then.
To the precipice, I think, Signor.
No matter, so my face is to the danger. Did you notice, Giulietta, a minute ago? I was frightened.
Yes, Signor, I saw it in your face.
The terror of terrors.
The terror of death.
No, death is nothing. I can face a stab just as I faced having my tooth pulled at Firenze.
Poor Signorina, that must have hurt horribly.
What? You pity me for the tooth affair, and you did not pity me after that hideous agony of terror that is not the terror of death, nor of anything else, but pure, grim terror in itself.
It was the terror of the soul, Signor, and I do not pity your soul. You have a wicked soul. But you have pretty teeth.
The toothache lasted a week, but the agony of my soul was too dreadful to last 5 minutes. I should have died of it if it could have kept me its grip of me. But you helped me out of it.
I, Signor.
Yes, you. If you had pitied me, if you had been less inexorable than death itself, I should have broken down and cried and begged for mercy. But now, I have come up against something hard, something real, something that does not care for me. I see now the truth of my excellent uncle's opinion that I was a spoilt cub. When I wanted anything, I threatened men or ran crying to women, and they gave it to me. I dreamed and I romanced, imagined things as I wanted them, not as they really are. There is nothing like a good look into the face of death, close up, right on you, for showing you how little you really believe, how little you really are. A priest once said to me, in your last hour, everything will fall away from you except your religion. But I have lived through my last hour, and my religion was the first thing that fell away from me. When I was forced at last to believe in grim death, I knew at last what belief was, and that I had never believed anything before. I had only flattered myself with pretty stories and sheltered myself behind mumbo jumbo as a soldier will shelter himself from arrows behind a clump of thistles that only hide the shooters from him. When I believe in everything that is real, as I believed for that moment in death, when I believe in everything that is real, as I believed for that moment in death, then I shall be a man at last. I have tasted the water of life from the cup of death. And it may now be that my real life began with the rosary and will end with this triple crown or the heretic's fire, I care not which. Come out then, dog of a bandit, find a man who has found his soul.
Squarcio appears at the door, sword in hand. Ferruccio leaps at him and strikes him full in the chest with his dagger. Squarcio puts back his left foot to brace himself against the shock. The dagger snaps as if it had struck a stone wall.
Quick, Sandro!
Sandro, who's come stealing round the corner of the inn with a fishing net, casts it over Ferruccio and draws it tight. Your Excellency will excuse my shirt of mail. A good home blow, nevertheless, Excellency.
Your Excellency will excuse my net. It is a little damp.
Well, now what? Accidental drowning, I suppose.
Excellency, it is such a pity to throw a good fish back into the water when you have got him safe in your net. My Giulietta, hold the net for me.
I have you very fast now, Signorino, like a little bird in a cage.
You have my body, Julia. My soul is free.
Is it, Signor? I think St. Barbara has got that in her net, too. She has turned your jest into earnest.
It is indeed true, sir, that those who come under the special protection of God and the saints are always a little mad. And this makes us think it very unlucky to kill a madman. And since from what Father Squarcio and I overheard, it is clear that your Excellency, though very wise and reasonable young gentleman in the general way, is somewhat correct on the subject of the soul and so forth. We have resolved to see that no harm comes to your Excellency.
As you please. My life is only a drop falling from the vanished clouds to the everlasting sea, from finite to infinite, and itself part of the infinite.
Oh, your Excellency speaks like a crazy but very holy book. Heaven forbid that we should raise a hand against you. Oh, but your Excellency will notice that this good action will cost us 30 crowns.
Is it not worth it?
Doubtless, doubtless. It will in fact save us the price of a certain masses, which we should otherwise have said for the souls of certain persons who, well, no matter. But we think it dangerous and unbecoming that a nobleman like your Excellency should travel without a retinue and unarmed, for your dagger is unfortunately broken. Excellency, if you would therefore have the condescension to accept Father Squaccio as your man of arms, your servant in all but name to save his nobility, he will go with you to any town in which you feel safe from His Eminence the Cardinal, and will leave it to your Excellency's graciousness as to whether his magnanimous conduct will not then deserve some trifling present, say a wedding gift for my Giulietta.
Good. The man I tried to slay will save me from being slain. Who would have thought Saint Barbara so full of irony?
And if the offer of your Excellency was good enough to make in respect of Giulietta still stands.
Rascal! Have you then no soul?
Yeah, I am a poor man, Excellency. I cannot afford these luxuries of the rich.
There is a certain painter who will presently make a great picture of Saint Barbara, and Julia will be his model. He will pay her well. Julia, release the bird, huh? It is time for it to fly.
Takes the net from his shoulders and curtain.
Oh, bravo. Well done, everyone.
Nicely done.
Very, very much fun. I'm, of course, never heard of this play before and
Me
all of
neither.
that. And very rarely have you seen sort of Shaw's sort of like the poor versus the rich, you know. So that was very good. And so well done, everybody. Thank you.
That was great fun.
I haven't had this impulse in a while. I want to have like a really, really good literature teacher lecture us on this play. Weird. It felt very twisty.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
very
twisty.
untypical Shaw, but it's,
Right? What'd you say, Dave?
I say it's very untypical Shaw.
It is. Okay. I thought maybe it was, I don't know Shaw the way you guys do. So this is not, I don't remember being this perplexed by his other ones.
Yeah, but he's considering the soul really in this, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, because he takes aim at sort of like the count disguising himself as a friar, and then like sort of the religious hypocrisy. But it's actually the message is really sort of very Christian, that it's like, yes, you have to forgive everybody to so that we can all live, you know,
Right.
and that's really what it is. And I mean, that's what I got from it. So.
There's still plenty of the Shavian irony in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And Julia is such a great character. It's so great to have a strong female, you know.
She's a
Stand
delight.
And I mean, you could even put in some stage fights where like he tries to do something and she like, boom.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be fun.
that would be
that
really
seems
fun.
more typical Shaw. Shaw usually
Nice.
strong women.
We better cut off the discussion right now and take a little break and then get into the next play. Everybody's welcome to stick around for it if they wish to.
I actually have to run, but break legs on the next one, guys. It
Thanks
was
a lot.
a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Nice job, Amelia.
Let's see.
Thank you, Paula.
Let's recommence at 5 minutes to 2. Okay.
Are we freezing the recording or anything?
Well, I mean, see, the thing is that we can't actually do that, but that's perfectly fine. I can talk about Shaw and Instant Shakespeare for the next 10 minutes because it's like the live stream, and if you stop it, then it becomes a different live stream.
That's
So we
fine.
go. So, but yeah, so you got till
Quick
got
question.
10 minutes.
I'll
Quick
be right
question
back.
before you do that. Anyone
Okay.
who knows Paul or David or Drew or Paula, good sort of annotated Shaw where I can read, analyses of these things when I read the play. Please just send me a title.
I can't think of one, but I bet David knows of one.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably got some things. I mean, what I think I've always really found very good for Shakespeare and for everything is the Norton critical editions, because
Okay.
you get the text and then you get a variety of commentaries on it, and some of them can sort of then direct you to other sorts of views that you want to have further.
Norton, what is it?
Norton, the publishing company Norton that published the first folio facsimile, they have all of these handbooks of literature. So if you look for the Norton, because they have Norton anthologies, a lot of colleges use them to teach English literature or all sorts of world literature, and they also do Norton anthologies of specific Norton. No, it's I believe they're called Norton critical editions, where you take a text of like a play, and then you have the play, and then you have critical commentary on it. I mean, like a selection, so you get different points of view and different perspectives on it. So I just generally, I mean, I think they're good.
Great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Hey, David.
Hi. So this, well, I'll say that in a few minutes. I was going to say.
Yeah, because this is all going to be still part of the live stream. We had a thing, our last live stream with the Allswell, there were some things where it was like I was still delivering my route, and so I wasn't really there, and they sort of like, okay, we're going to take a break and we're going to pause, and they paused the recording, but the live stream, you can't pause it, or it then becomes a separate live stream, and then you've got two things to put together, so that's too much trouble for me. So I just keep going because I'm happy to just take this in between time to answer anybody's questions about anything and talk about what we've got coming up, like next week, The Tamer Tamed.
Yes.
Are you allowed to begin?
It's an interesting and odd play because it's supposedly a sequel to Taming of the Shrew, but it changes Kate has already died, and he's going now for his second wife, or he's married already to his second wife. And there's, first of all the names, most of the names of the play are either Italian or Greek, but the play is set in London. And the women have a rebellion, which is very reminiscent of Lysistrata. So it's, they lock themselves up in a tower or upper room or something. Oh, hi there.
Co-star is here. Next week's co-star.
Yes, you get to play opposite each other.
I'm training her right now.
Yeah.
Great. Yes. Yeah, well,
That's-
it's interesting, I mean, because we had our really fun in-person reading of Taming of the Shrew earlier, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah,
year, and
that's why,
then
as I said, well, this is the kind of thing that Stephen Brown would have
Oh
done,
man, yeah.
still with us.
yeah, it's so true. I mean, I've really got to, at some point when I get the time, I really want to put together a thing of the amazing that history cycle that he put together when
Yeah.
when we did all of those plays, including all of these plays I'd never heard of by other people, but just to sort of show the continuity of how all of these plays about the history were really, I mean, and that was the thing. I mean, Shakespeare really, most of his sort of famous tragedies came later. It was his comedies and his histories really on that were his big successes. I mean, like probably Richard III. I mean, of course, you have Romeo and Juliet, which was a huge thing. But I mean, all of the history plays. I mean, Richard III, which was the culmination of the three plays of Henry VI, which I just think are such great plays. But it's like you can only sort of do them if you do the whole War of the Roses thing. So. But and you have to cut them down.
Remember early on with I think Paul. Oh, I can't think of his name. Him and his wife, I think, put together the whole 12-play cycle. We read them all in a couple of days. Marty, somebody?
Arnie, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I can't
Oh, was
remember.
that Paul Rubin?
And
Marty Coney?
yes, yes. That was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, because he was such a great guy. And yeah, he's been gone a while. There's so many people I think about it. I finally saw 12 Monkeys, and it had on a woman who'd done some instant Shakespeare very early on, just in a very little bit as a poet at the beginning. And she was always she looked like this very fierce old Russian woman, and she'd done Margaret when I'd done Richard III. And had my kids as the princes, and even they had like such a great memory of how much fun it was.
That was the Richard III?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
who was Richard?
This was probably one of the first times I did it in like our third season or something, since we are now in the 24th season.
I know I saw your kids when they were very young playing the princes. I don't remember if that was with you.
Yeah, well, I think they did do it several times because that's the thing. It's like you think maybe they had somebody with a family because they had these early plays where you got more of the sorts of little child characters, like also even with Titus Andronicus, where you've got the little Titus's grandson. Boy, that's one traumatized kid or possible future emperor, right?
Drew, are you here?
I'm here.
I think since we're all here, it's a little before I said, I think we should get started on Cox and Box.
Okay.
Or Box and Cox.
Alrighty.
Okay, this play, Box and Cox, by a prolific Victorian playwright, particularly for one-act farces, a man named John Madison Morton, is possibly one of the most popular Victorian farces, particularly one-act farces. And it was eventually to be turned into not Box and Cox, but Cox and Box with music by Arthur Sullivan, his very first operetta before he linked up with Gilbert. So here we go with it. Okay, I'm just going to jump out of this for a second. The scene is a room decently furnished. At center, there is a bed with curtains closed. At the left center, a door, and at the left third entrance, a door. At left center, I don't even understand that, I'm sorry. A chest of drawers at back right, a window at right, a door at right, a fireplace with a mantelpiece table and chairs, a few common ornaments or chimney on the chimney piece. Cox, dressed with the exception of his coat, is looking at himself in a small looking glass which is in his hand. I have a mind to register an oath that I've never had my hair cut again. I look as if I'd been cropped for the militia. I was particularly emphatic on my instructions to the hairdresser, only to cut the ends off. He must have thought I meant the other ends. Oh, never mind. I shan't meet anybody to care about so early. 8 o'clock. I declare I haven't a moment to lose. Fate has placed me with the most punctual, particular, and peremptory of hatters, and I must fulfill my destiny. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Morning, Mr. Cox. I hope you slept comfortably, Mr. Cox.
I can't say I did, Mrs. B. I should feel obliged to you if you could accommodate me with a more protuberant bolster, Mrs. B. The one I've got now seems to me to have about a handful and a half of feathers at each end and nothing whatever in the middle.
Anything to accommodate you, Mr. Cox.
Thank you. And perhaps you'll be good enough to hold this glass while I finish my toilette.
Certainly. I do declare you've had your cut.
Oh, cut. Strikes me I've had it mowed. It's a very kind of you to mention it, but I'm sufficiently conscious of the absurdity of my personal appearance already. Oh, now for my hat. That's the effect of having one's hair cut. This hat fitted me quite tight before. Luckily, I've got 2 or 3 more. No, this is pleasant. Never mind. This one appears to be to wobble about rather less than the others. And now I'm off. Oh, by the by, Mrs. Bouncer, I wish to call your attention to the fact that has been evident to me for some time past, and that is that my colds go remarkably fast.
You're Mr. Cox.
It's not the case with only the coals, Mrs. Bouncer, but I've lately observed a gradual and steady increase of evaporation amongst my candles, wood, sugar, and lucifer matches.
Oh, Mr. Cox, you surely don't suspect me.
Don't say I do, Mrs. B. But I wish you distinctly to understand that I don't believe it's the cat.
Is there anything else you've got to grumble about, sir?
Grumble? Mrs. Bouncer, do you possess such a thing as a dictionary?
Well, no, sir.
Then I'll lend you one. And if you turn to the letter G, you'll find grumble, verb neuter, to complain without cause. Now, that's not my case, Mrs. B. And now that we are upon the subject, I wish to know how it is that I frequently find my apartment full of smoke.
Why, I suppose the chimney.
The chimney doesn't smoke tobacco. I'm speaking of tobacco smoke. Mrs. B, I hope, Mrs. Bouncer, you're not guilty of cheroots or Cubans.
Oh, not I, indeed, Mr. Cox.
Nor partial to a pipe?
No, sir.
Then how is it that
Wait, I suppose. Yes, that must be it.
at present I'm entirely of your opinion because I haven't the most distinct particle of an idea what you mean.
Why, the gentleman who has got the attics is hardly ever without a pipe in his mouth, and there he sits with his feet upon the mantelpiece.
Mantelpiece? That strikes me as being a considerable stretch, either of your imagination, Mrs. B, or the gentleman's legs. I presume you mean the fender or the hob.
Sometimes one, sometimes t'other. Well, I mean, there is this for hours, puffs away into the fireplace.
Ah, then you mean to say that the gentleman smoke, instead of emulating the example of all other sorts of smoke and going up the chimney, thinks proper to effect a singularity by taking the contrary direction?
Why,
Then I suppose the gentleman you are speaking of is the same individual that I invariably meet coming upstairs when I'm going down and going downstairs when I'm coming up.
why, yes,
From his appearance, of this outward man, I should unhesitatingly set him down as a gentleman connected with the printing trade.
Yes, sir, and a very respectable young gentleman he is.
Well, good morning, Mrs. Bouncer.
You'll be back at your usual time, I suppose, sir?
Yes, 9 o'clock. You needn't light my fire in future, Mrs. B. I'll do it myself. Don't forget the bolster. A halfpenny worth of milk, Mrs. Bouncer, and be good enough to let it stand. I wish the cream to accumulate.
Oh, he's gone at last. I declare, I was all in a tremble for fear Mr. Box would come in before Mr. Cox went out. Luckily, they've never met, and what's more, they're not likely to do so. For Mr. Box is hard at work at a newspaper office all night and doesn't come home till morning. And Mr. Cox is busy making hats all day long, doesn't come home till night. So that I'm getting a double rent for my room, and neither of my lodgers is any the wiser for it. Oh, the capital idea of mine that it was. But I haven't an instant to lose. First of all, let me put Mr. Cox's things out of Mr. Box's way. Now then, to put the key where Mr. Cox always finds it. Oh, I really must beg Mr. Box not to smoke so much. I was so dreadfully puzzled to know what to say when Mr. Cox spoke about it. Oh, now then, to make the bed. And don't let me forget that what's the head of the bed for Mr. Cox becomes the foot of the bed for Mr. Box. People's tastes do differ so. Oh, the idea of Mr. Cox presuming to complain of such a bolster as this.
Oh, pooh-pooh! Why don't you keep your own side of the staircase, sir? It's as much your fault as mine, sir. I say, sir, it was as much your fault as mine, sir.
Oh, Box, what is the matter?
Mind your own business, Bouncer.
Dear, Mr. Box, what a temper you're in, to be sure. I declare you're quite pale in the face.
What colour would you have a man be who has been setting up long leaders for daily papers all night?
Oh, but then you've all the day to yourself.
So it seems. Far be it from me, Bouncer, to hurry your movements, but I think it right to acquaint you with my immediate intention of divesting myself of my garments and going to bed.
Oh, Mr. Box.
Oh, stop!
Huh?
Can you inform me who the individual is that I invariably encounter going downstairs when I am coming up and coming upstairs when I am going down?
Oh, yes, the gentleman in the attic, sir.
Oh, there's nothing particularly remarkable about him except his hats. I meet him in all sorts of hats. White hats, black hats, hats with broad brims, hats with narrow brims, hats with naps, hats without naps. In short, I have come to the conclusion that he must be individually and professionally associated with the hatting interest.
Yes, sir. And by the by, Mr. Box, he begged me to request you as a particular favour that you would not smoke quite so much.
Does he? And you may tell the gentle hatter with my compliments that if he objects to the effluvia of tobacco, he had better domesticate himself in some adjoining parish.
Mr. Box, you surely wouldn't deprive me of a lodger?
It would come precisely to the same thing, Bouncer, because if I detect the slightest attempt to put my pipe out, I at once give you warning that I shall give you warning at once.
Oh, well, Mr. Box, do you want anything more of me?
On the contrary, I have had quite enough of you.
Oh, well, if ever. What next, I wonder?
It's quite extraordinary the trouble I always have to get rid of that venerable female. She knows I'm up all night, and yet she seems to set her face against my indulging in a horizontal position by day. Now let me see. Shall I take my nap before I swallow my breakfast, or shall I take my breakfast before I swallow my nap? I mean, shall I swallow my nap before? Oh, never mind. Oh, I've got a rasher of bacon somewhere. I have the most distinct and vivid recollection of having purchased a rasher of bacon. Oh, here it is. And a penny roll. The next thing is to light the fire. Where are my lucifers? Now, upon my life, this is too bad of Bouncer. This is, by several degrees, too bad. I had a whole full box 3 days ago, and now there's only one. I'm perfectly aware that she purloins my coals and my candles and my sugar, but I did think that my lucifers would be sacred. Now, I should like to ask any unprejudiced person or persons their opinion touching this candle. In the first place, a candle is an article that I don't require because I am only at home in the daytime, and I bought this candle on the 1st of May, Chimney Sweeper's Day, calculating that it would last me 3 months. And here's only 1 week and a half over, and the candle is 3 parts gone. Oh, Mrs. Bouncer has been using my gridiron. The last article of consumption that I had cooked upon it was a pork chop, and now it is perfectly impregnated with the odor of red herrings. Oh, how sleepy I am, to be sure. I'd indulge myself in a nap if there was anybody here to superintend the turning of my bacon. Perhaps it'll turn itself. I must lie down. So here it goes.
Well, wonders will never cease. Conscious of being 11 minutes and a half behind time, I was sneaking into the shop in a state of considerable excitement when my venerable employer, with a smile of extreme benevolence on his aged countenance, said to me, "Cox, I shan't want you today. You can have a holiday." Thoughts of Gravesend and back, fare 1 shilling, instantly suggested themselves, intermingled with visions of Greenwich for 4pence. Then came the twopenny omnibuses and the halfpenny boats. In short, I'm quite bewildered. Now, however, I must have my breakfast first. That will give me time to reflect. I bought a mutton chop, so I shan't want any dinner. Good gracious, I forgot the bread. Hello, what's this? A roll, I declare. Come, that's lucky. Now then, to light the fire. Hello, who presumes to touch my box of lucifers? Why, it's empty. I left one in it. I'll take my oath I did. Heyday, why, the fire is lighted. Where's the gridiron? On the fire, I declare. And what's that on it? Bacon? Bacon it is. Well, upon my life, there's a quiet coolness about Mrs. Bouncer's proceedings that's almost amusing. She takes my last lucifer, my coals, and my gridiron to cook her breakfast by. No, I can't stand this. Come out of that. Now, then, for my breakfast things.
Come in. If it's you, Mrs. Bouncer, you needn't be afraid. I wonder how long I was asleep. Goodness gracious, my bacon. Hello, what's this? A chop? Whose chop? Oh, Mrs. Bouncer's, I'll be bound. She thought to cook her breakfast while I was asleep, with my coals too, and my gridiron. But where's my bacon? Oh, here it is. Well, upon my life, Bouncer's going it. And shall I curb my indignation? Shall I falter in my vengeance? No. So much for Bouncer's breakfast. And now for my own. I may as well lay my breakfast things.
Come in, come in. Oh, my goodness, my chop. Hello, what's that? The bacon again? Oh, pooh, zooms. Dash it, damn it, I can't stand this. Who are you, sir?
If you come to that, who are you?
What do you want here, sir?
You've come to that, what do you want?
It's the printer.
The hatter.
Go to your attic, sir.
My attic, sir. Your attic, sir.
Printer, I shall do you a frightful injury if you don't instantly leave my apartment.
Your apartment? You mean my apartment, you contemptible hatter, you?
Your apartment? Come on, like that. Look here, sir. Mrs. Bouncer's receipt for the last week's rent, sir.
Oh, ditto, sir.
Thieves!
Murder!
Mrs. Bouncer! Mrs. Bouncer?
Instantly remove that hatter.
Immediately turn out that printer.
Well, but gentlemen,
Explain.
Explain. Whose room is this?
Yes, woman. Whose room is this?
Does it belong to me?
no,
Now you hear, sir? It belongs to me.
no. Of you.
Both of us?
Oh, dear gentlemen, don't be angry. But you see, this gentleman only being at home in the daytime, and that gentleman at night. Well, I thought I might venture until my little back second floor room is ready.
When will
When
your
will your little second floor room be ready?
Why, tomorrow.
I'll take it.
So will I.
Excuse me, but if you both take it, you may just as well stop where you are.
True. I spoke first, sir.
Oh, with all my heart, sir. The little back second floor room is yours, sir. Now go.
Go? Pooh-pooh.
Oh, no, don't quarrel, gentlemen. You see, there used to be a partition here.
Then put it up.
Well, nay, I'll see if I can't get the other room ready this very day. Now, do keep your tempers.
What a disgusting position.
Will you allow me to observe? If you have not had any exercise today, you'd better go out and take it.
I shall not do anything of the sort, sir.
Very well, sir.
Very well, sir. However, don't let me prevent you from going out.
I don't flatter yourself, sir. Hello, that's my role, sir.
Hello, what are you about, sir?
What am I about, sir? I'm about to smoke.
Oh,
Hello, put down that window, sir.
then put your pipe out, sir.
There.
There.
I shall retire to my pillow.
I beg your pardon, sir. I can't allow anyone to rumple my bed.
Your bed? Hark ye, sir. Can you fight?
No, sir.
No. Oh, come on, then.
Sit down, sir, or I'll instantly vociferate police.
I say, sir.
Well, sir.
Although we are doomed to share the same room for a few hours longer, I don't see any necessity for our cutting each other's throats, sir.
Not at all. This is an operation I should decidedly object to.
And after all, I've no violent animosity to you, sir.
Nor have I any rooted antipathy to you, sir.
Besides, it was all Mrs. Bouncer's fault, sir.
Entirely, sir.
Very well, sir.
Very well, sir.
I take a bit of roll, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Do you sing, sir?
I sometimes join in a chorus.
Oh, then give us a chorus. Have you seen the Beaujerman, sir?
No, sir. My wife wouldn't let me.
Your wife?
That is, my intended wife.
Oh, well, that's the same thing. I congratulate you.
Thank you. You needn't disturb yourself. She won't come here.
Oh, I understand. You've got a snug little establishment of your own here, on the sly, cunning dog.
Nothing. No such thing, sir. I repeat, no such thing, sir. But my wife, I mean my intended wife, happens to be the proprietor of a considerable number of bathing machines.
Ah,
A favorite watering place. How curious you are.
not at all. Well,
Consequently, in the bathing season, which luckily is rather a long one, we see but little of each other. But as that is now over, I'm daily indulging in the expectation of being blessed with the sight of my beloved. Are you married?
me? Why? Not exactly.
Ah, happy bachelor.
Why, not precisely.
Oh, a widower.
No, not absolutely.
You'll excuse me, sir, but at present I don't entirely exactly understand how you can keep being one of the three.
Not help it.
No, sir, not you nor any other man alive.
Ah, that may be, sir, but I'm not alive.
You'll excuse me, sir, but I don't like joking about such subjects.
Oh, I'm perfectly serious, sir. I've been defunct for the last 3 years.
Will you be quiet, sir?
If you won't believe me, I'll refer you to a very large, numerous, and respectable circle of disconsolate friends.
My dear sir, my very dear sir, if there does exist any ingenious contrivance whereby a man on the eve of committing matrimony can leave this world and yet stop in it, I shouldn't be sorry to know it.
Oh, then I presume I am not set you down as being frantically attached to your intended?
Why, not exactly. Yet at present, I'm only aware of one obstacle to my doting upon her, and that is that I can't abide her.
Oh, then there's nothing more easy. Do as I did.
I will. What was it?
Drown yourself.
Will you be quiet, sir?
Oh, listen to me. 3 years ago, when it was my misfortune to captivate the affections of a still blooming, though somewhat middle-aged widow at Ramsgate.
Singular enough. Just my case 3 months ago at Margate.
Well, sir, to escape her importunities, I came to the determination of enlisting in the Blues, or Lifeguards.
So did I. Very odd.
But they wouldn't have me. They actually had the effrontery to say that I was too short.
And I wasn't tall enough.
So I obliged to content myself with a marching regiment. I enlisted.
Ah, so did I. Singular coincidence.
I'd no sooner done so than I was sorry for it.
So was I.
My infatuated widow offered to purchase my discharge on condition that I'd lead her to the altar.
Just my case.
I hesitated. At last, I consented.
I considered it once.
Well, sir, the day fixed for the happy ceremony at length drew near. In fact, too near to be pleasant. So I suddenly discovered that I wasn't worthy to possess her, and I told her so. When instead of being flattered by my compliment, she flew upon me like the tiger of the female gender. I rejoined, when suddenly something whizzed past me within an inch of my ear and shivered into 1,000 fragments beside the mantelpiece. It was a slop basin. I retaliated with a teacup. We parted, and the next morning I was served with a notice of action for breach of promise.
Well, sir?
Well, sir, ruin stared me in the face. The action proceeded against me with gigantic strides. I took a desperate resolution. I left my home early one morning with one suit of clothes on my back and another tied up in a bundle under my arm. I arrived on the cliffs, opened the bundle, deposited the suit of clothes on the very verge of the precipice, took one look into the yawning gulf beneath me, and walked off in the opposite direction.
Dear me, I think I begin to have some slight perception of your meaning. Ingenious creature. You disappeared. The suit of clothes was found.
Exactly. And in one of the pockets of the coat, or my waistcoat or pantaloons, I forget which, there was also found a piece of paper with the affecting farewell words. This is thy work, O Penelope Ann.
Penelope Ann? Penelope Ann?
Penelope Ann.
Originally widow of William Wiggins.
Widow of William Wiggins.
Proprietor of bathing machines.
Proprietor of bathing machines.
At Margate.
At Ramsgate.
It must be she. And you, sir, you are Box, the lamented long-lost Box.
I am.
And I was about to marry the interesting creature you so cruelly deceived.
Oh, then you are Cox.
I am.
I heard of it. Oh, I congratulate you. I give you joy. And now I think I'll go take my stroll.
No, you don't. I've not lost sight of you. I'll not lose sight of you until I've restored you to the arms of your intended.
My intended.
No, sir, yours.
Oh, how can she be my intended now that I'm drowned?
You are no such thing, sir, and I prefer presenting you to Penelope Ann.
I've no wish to be introduced to your intended.
My intended? How could that be, sir? You proposed to her first.
What of that, sir? I came to an untimely end, and you popped the question afterwards.
Very well, sir.
Very well, sir.
You are much more worthy of her than I am, sir. Permit me then to follow the generous impulse of my nature. I give her up to you.
Oh, benevolent being, I wouldn't rob you for the world. Good morning, sir.
Stop.
Unhand me, Hatter, or I shall cast off the lamb and assume the lion.
Who?
An insult to my very face, under my very nose. You know the consequences, sir. Instant satisfaction, sir.
With all my heart, sir.
Mrs. Bouncer!
Mrs. Bouncer!
Gentlemen?
Pistols for two.
Oh, yes, sir.
Stop. You don't mean to say, thoughtless and imprudent woman, that you keep loaded firearms in the house?
Oh, no, they're not loaded.
Then produce the murderous weapons instantly.
I say, sir.
Well, sir,
What's your opinion of dueling, sir?
I think it's a barbarous practice, sir.
So do I, sir. To be sure, I don't so much object to it when the pistols are not loaded.
No, I dare say that does make a difference.
And yet, sir, on the other hand, doesn't it strike you as rather a waste of time for two people to keep firing pistols at one another with nothing in them?
No, sir, not more than any other harmless recreation.
Harkee, why do you object to marry Penelope Ann?
Excuse me, as I've observed already, I can't abide her. You'll be very happy with her.
Happy? Me? With the consciousness that I have deprived you of such a treasure? No, no, Cox.
Oh, don't think of me, Box. I shall be sufficiently rewarded by the knowledge of my Box's happiness.
Don't be absurd, sir.
Then don't you be ridiculous, sir.
I won't have her.
I won't have her.
Have it. Suppose we draw lots for the lady, eh, Cox?
That's fair enough, Mr. Box.
Or what do you say to dice?
With all my heart. Dice, by all means.
That's lucky. Mrs. Bouncer's nephew left a pair here yesterday. He sometimes persuades me to have a throw for a trifle, and he always throws sixes. I suspect they are good ones.
I've no objection at all to dice. I lost £1.17 and sixpence at the last Barnet races to a very gentlemanly-looking man who had a most peculiar knack of throwing sixes. I suspect they were loaded, so I gave him another half-crown, and he gave me the dice.
Now then, sir?
I'm ready, sir. Will you lead off?
As you please, sir. The lowest throw, of course, wins Penelope Ann.
Of course, sir.
Very well, sir.
Very well, sir.
Sixes.
That's not a bad throw of yours, sir. Sixes.
Oh, that's a pretty good one of yours, sir. Sixes.
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 Those are not bad dice of yours, sir.
Yours seem pretty good ones, sir.
Suppose we change?
Very well, sir.
Sixes.
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 Oh, it's perfectly absurd. We're going to go on throwing sixes in this sort of way, sir.
I shall go on until my luck changes, sir.
Let's try something else. I have it. Suppose we toss for Penelope Ann.
The very thing. I was going to Suppose.
Where's my tossing shilling? Ah, here it is.
Where's my lucky sixpence? Ah, I've got it.
Now then, sir, heads win?
Or tails lose, whichever you prefer.
It's the same to me, sir.
Very well, sir. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Yes. No. Heads win, sir.
Very well, go on.
Heads.
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 Ain't you rather tired of turning up heads, sir?
Couldn't you vary the monotony of our proceedings by an occasional tail, sir?
Heads.
Heads.
Heads. Stop, sir. Will you permit me? Hello, your sixpence has not got a tail, sir.
And your shilling has got two heads, sir.
Cheat.
Swindler. Now, is the little back floor looks like a room ready?
Not quite, gentlemen. And I can't find the pistols, but I have brought you a letter. It came by the general post yesterday. I'm sure I don't know how I forgot it, but I put it carefully in my pocket.
And you've kept it carefully in your pocket ever since.
Yes, sir. Oh, I hope you'll forgive me, sir. By the by, I paid twopence for it.
Did you? Then I forgive you.
Oh.
Margaret. The postmark decidedly says Margaret.
Oh, doubtless a tender epistle from Penelope Ann.
Then read it, sir.
Me, sir.
Of course. You don't suppose I'm going to read a letter from your intended?
My intended. Who? It's addressed to you. C-O-X.
You think that's a C? It looks to me like a B.
Nonsense. Fracture the seal.
Goodness gracious.
Gracious goodness.
Margaret, May the 4th, sir. I hasten to convey to you the intelligence of a melancholy accident which has bereft you of your intended wife. He means your intended.
No, yours. However, it's perfectly immaterial, but she unquestionably was yours.
How could that be? You proposed to her first.
Yes, but then you... Now, don't let us go on again, sir. Go on.
Poor Mrs. Wiggins went out for a short excursion in the sailing boat. A sudden and violent squall soon took place, which it is supposed upset her, and she was found 2 days afterward, keel upwards.
Poor woman.
The boat, sir. As her man of business, I immediately proceeded to examine her papers, amongst which I soon discovered her will, by the following extract, from which will, I have no doubt, be satisfactory to you. I hereby bequeath my entire property to my intended. Excellent, unhappy creature.
Oh, generous, ill-fated being.
And to think I tossed up for that woman.
When I remember that I staked such a treasure on the hazard of a die.
I'm sure, Mr. Box, I can't sufficiently thank you for your sympathy.
And I am sure, Mr. Cox, you couldn't feel more if she had been your own intended.
If she had been my own intended, she was my own intended.
Your intended? How I like that. Didn't you very properly observe just now, sir, that I proposed to her first?
To which you very sensibly replied, but you'd come to an untimely end.
I deny it.
I say you have.
The fortune's mine.
Mine.
I'll have it.
So will I.
I'll go to the law.
So will I.
Stop. A thought strikes me. Instead of going to the law about the property, suppose we divide it.
Equally.
Equally. I'll take 2/3.
That's fair enough, and I'll take 3/4.
That won't do. Half and half.
Agreed. There's my hand upon it.
And mine.
Hello. Postman again?
Postman yesterday, postman today.
Better, Mr. Cox. Twopence more?
I forgive you again. Another trifle from Margaret. Goodness gracious.
Gracious goodness.
Happy to inform you, false alarm.
Sudden squall, boat upset, Mrs. Wiggins, your intended.
Picked up by a steamboat.
Carried into Boulogne.
Returned here this morning.
Will start by early train tomorrow.
And be with you at 10 o'clock.
Oh, Fox, I congratulate you.
I give you joy.
I'm sorry that most important business of the Colonel office will prevent my witnessing the truly happy meeting between you and your intended. Good morning.
Stop. It is obviously for me to retire. Not for worlds would I disturb the rapturous meeting between you and your intended. Good morning.
You'll excuse me, sir, but your last arrangement was that she was your intended.
No, yours.
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 Ha! What's that? A cab's drawn up at the door. No, it's a twopenny omnibus.
A lady's got out.
Oh, there's no mistaking that majestic person. It's Penelope Ann.
Your intended.
Yours.
Yours.
Huck, she's coming upstairs.
Shut the door.
Mr. Cox, Mr. Cox,
I've just stepped out.
So have I.
Mr. Cox. Oh, it's only me, Mrs. Bouncer.
Only you? Then where's the lady?
Gone.
On your honor?
As a gentleman.
Yes. Wait, she's left a note for Mr. Cox.
Give it to me.
Open the door.
Put it under.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
Gracious goodness.
Dear Mr. Cox, pardon my candor.
But being convinced that our feelings, like our ages, do not reciprocate,
I hasten to apprise you of my immediate union.
with Mr. Knox.
Ah!
3 cheers for Mr. Knox.
the little second floor back room is ready.
I don't want it.
No more do I.
What shall part us?
What shall tear us asunder?
Fox.
Fox. You'll excuse the apparent insanity of the remark, but the more I gaze on your features, the more I am convinced that you're my long-lost brother.
The very observation I was going to make to you.
Tell me, in mercy, tell me, have you such a thing as a strawberry mark on your left arm?
No.
Oh, then it is he.
Of course we stop where we are.
Of course.
Between you and me, I'm rather partial to this house.
So am I. I begin to feel quite at home in it.
Everything's so clean and comfortable.
And I'm sure the mistress of it, from what I have seen of her, is very anxious to please.
So she is. And I vote, Box, that we stick by her.
Agreed. There's my hand upon it. Join but yours. Agree the house is big enough for both of us. Then Box
And Cox are satisfied. And Curtain. How silly can you get?
Well done. Very good. Thank you. That's so good. That was a lot of fun. And so much, I mean, so many things in that you see sort of in later kind of plays. I mean, like everything, the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern beginning of it. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, of all of the things coming out the same.
Can you stop the recording? So we can...
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, yes, thank you all. This was from the Shaw Project. And let me just stop the live stream. That was, hang on just a moment, because